Push, Nevada was a 2002 ABC mystery television show set in the fictional town of Push, Nevada. Push only lasted 7 episodes before it was prematurely cancelled. The early cancellation was a bit of a problem since the concept of the show was intertwined with the real-life online treasure hunt for the missing $1 million. This was a show ahead of its time, trying to incorporate alternative media and fan interaction to stop the loss of viewers, not only to cable channels, but also away from traditional commercial advertisement-driven revenue. Only a month before the show premiered, Nielsen began to count TiVo viewerships on their own, though not as part of the overall numbers. So you can see the shift happening here, and maybe Push was just too early. I mean, most houses had multiple TVs by 2002 for sure, but I'm not sure they had multiple VCRs. So being second best was imperative. Being third best in a time slot was not going to help attract people to try your show. I don't remember it being a highly anticipated show, and it would seem this show would have required quite a publicity push to succeed. And maybe that was a sign that it was not seen as very good, or maybe it was a self-fulfilling prophecy and a lost opportunity. Push was created by Ben Affleck and Sean Bailey and co-produced by Matt Damon as an offshoot from their Project Greenlight. Project Greenlight was an American documentary television series focusing on first-time filmmakers being given the chance to direct a feature film. Project Greenlight first aired on HBO for 2 seasons, 2001 to 2003, before moving to Bravo for season 3. Push, Nevada followed a seemingly milquetoast IRS agent Jim Prufrock as he traveled to the mysterious desert town. While investigating a sizable accounting error made by the Versailles Casino, he begins to realize that there may be stranger things going on in this town than just embezzlement. As an ironic counterpoint to the use of new media, the internet, to push the show off the screen on screen, it begins with the mysterious and anonymous fax received by Prufrock, showing the error from the casino. Despite frequent warnings from a provocative slow dancer named Mary to leave town before he's in too deep, Jim continues to investigate things that don't seem to add up. After many unpleasant incidents, and with the help of his faithful but socially awkward secretary Grace, Jim discovers that no one in Push has filed an income tax return since 1985. There's also a clandestine corporation known as Watermark LLC that appears to control every financial facet in the town, as well as local law enforcement and even forces in the federal government. These forces that reach into the federal government begin to slow Jim down as well. With the help of other townspeople who seem less crooked, Jim begins to unravel the mystery surrounding the missing $1 million and a somehow connected copy of the Bible. Push, Nevada was unique in that it offered viewers a chance to follow along and solve the mystery of Push for a prize of $1,045,000. Each episode contained clues from web addresses in the opening credits to specific phrases uttered by characters in the show, each having its own significance to the mystery. Push was said to be similar in aesthetic to David Lynch's Twin Peaks, and while not as good or original, it had the contest angle going for it. While the main character, Prufrock, would seem to be mild-mannered pencil pusher, we keep getting scenes where he pushes that envelope and shows a rebellious and persistent personality that is unexpected, as is mentioned many times by the evil characters in the show. Having an estranged wife who's constantly trying to play him from the cuckold, he often seems lost and is looking for more in life, and seems to have decided that this mystery in Push, Nevada is that thing. His old-school gentleman personality was shaped by his own father and is further hammered in by his choice of classic car and the use of rockabilly music. After the 6th episode aired, the clues for the remaining 6 unaired episodes were shown, and viewers were told that the final clue would be revealed during the October 28, 2002 episode of Monday Night Football, because the show was being cancelled. Before we talk about how the show ended, we need to talk about why the show failed. The show was given the Thursday 9 p.m. slot, a very competitive time slot, running against CSI on CBS, which was the #1 show on TV, with Survivor as a lead-in, Major League Baseball on Fox, and Will and Grace on NBC. So you can see the competitive landscape had it all covered: drama, sports, and comedy. Push replaced Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in that Thursday 9 p.m. slot, which ended its 5-year run on ABC before going 17 years on syndication. As a shot across the bow, Push, Nevada prominently showed Who Wants to Be a Millionaire playing on the TV in the background during the pilot episode. Keep in mind that the message was clear to the viewers. Watch Push Nevada, solve the riddle, and you can be a millionaire. So how did the ratings finish for the time slot? CSI finished first overall in all network TV with a 16.11. Will and Grace finished 12th overall at 10.68. So keep that in mind. So 2 of the top 12 shows in network TV were in that time slot against Push. Push finished outside the top 100, 128th overall at 2.82. While the cast did not include any well-known stars, it did include quite a few well-used character players. The promotion of the show included a campaign using so-called guerrilla marketing. Hitchhikers have allegedly been strategically placed at select Los Angeles intersections with signs pleading for a lift to Push, which does not exist. If you search for Push Nevada on the internet, you would have found a website for the Push Convention and Visitors Bureau that is cheesy and quite believable. You can even have the push times sent directly to your email inbox. This marketing push had made news due to the extreme and deliberate blurring of the lines between advertising, editorial content, and everyday life. I never saw or heard any of this. My interest was piqued only from the network's commercials. Running somewhat counter to the cryptic advertising strategy, the show dumbed itself down. In repeat of the pilot presented as the lead-in to Thursday's new episode, the clues were outlined in red boxes, beating any joy out of the process of discovering the game. The show's makers appear to think viewers were too unsophisticated to figure out that repeated number sequences and a flashing web address during the opening credits are clues. So it could be said that the game part of the show never caught on, but about 200,000 people visited the Push Nevada websites, which made it one of the largest online games in history. Keep in mind this was 2002. And 60,000 people downloaded the book written for the show. Maybe the show's concept just didn't catch on. Maybe viewers were just not ready for it. I mean, formula shows like CSI and Will and Grace were much more accessible to the average viewer. In the May 20, 2002 issue of Broadcasting, their look at the upcoming new fall 2002 season tried to describe the Push Nevada interactive game, finally writing, "Frankly, ABC couldn't seem to explain exactly how it works." If the game didn't interest the viewer, there was the conspiracy theory, a genre popular at the time with the networks. Alias, Veritas, The Quest, and John Doe were all running, but not as much with the mass audience. Even the significance of naming the hero after T.S. Eliot's famous poem, The Love Song in Jail for Prufrock, is not readily apparent to viewers. This seems to be a David Lynch-like thing to do. Prufrock laments his physical and intellectual inertia in the lost opportunities in his life and lack of spiritual progress, and is haunted by reminders of unattained carnal love. The stylistic choices made it difficult to determine exactly what is literal and what is symbolic in the poem. Very similar to the television show, Push Nevada. By the final episode, episode 7, Jim has not learned the contents of the north wing of Martha's boarding house, or supposedly that his father Alfred, presumed dead since Jim was a child, sent the mysterious facts that first brought him to Push. The show ended abruptly in episode 7 when all the plot threads were pulled and reconciled in an all-too-neat package. Our hero returned home to his perfect suburban home and formerly ex-wife who had been inexplicably stepforded. And we viewers were shown that the story was not over as our hero was still under surveillance. The final scene was Prufrock, disheveled and on the run, filming a viral video for the internet about the plot and Push. Warning of its scope and danger, hitting send and pulling the plug.
Are we on? Hey, my name's Derek Cecil. I played Jim Prufrock on Push Nevada. I don't know how much time we have, so... About a year ago, Sean Bailey and Ben Affleck came to me with a collection of documents detailing a massive conspiracy at a company called Watermark Consolidated. They received these documents anonymously. Now, none of us took it seriously. We thought it'd be a good story. We didn't expect that there are powerful people who don't want the full story to be told. Now, I know don't believe anything you see on TV, but believe me, the conspiracy is real. Watermark is real. This is the last episode of Push Nevada. We posted the Watermark documents on www.pushtimes.com. Okay, look. The following words seem to be significant. In order. 5, longitude, underwear, southeast, Bodnik, Elliott. Sheriff, we gotta go. Okay, we gotta get out of here. I'll see you again on Monday night. Come on, Bob. First episode. Then, 5th place first, 9th first, 5th, 7th, 4th first, 2nd, 7th, 5th, and 2nd places in order. I'm gonna have to disappear for a while. We are all being manipulated. Keep up the fight. Good luck.
The fourth wall was broken, and Derek Cecil, the actor, not the character Jim Prufrock, now told the audience that what he and the producers thought was just a story for a TV show had turned real, and now Watermark was after everyone connected to the Push Nevada TV series. He claimed he was on the run and gave the clues from the last unaired 6 episodes. It took 2 minutes for the prize to be won. According to realityworld.com, over 10,000 people solved the puzzle within 24 hours. The story's fourth wall-destroying ending was a cheap gimmick that left unanswered most of the show's questions and failed to resolve many of the characters' secrets. But one can forgive the writers who had the impossible task of jamming 6 episodes of twists, discoveries, and surprises into the last minutes of the 7th episode and a minute during halftime on Monday Night Football. So sadly, Push Nevada's just did not catch on. One might argue that the early 2000s were just not the time for a transmedia-driven show as complex as Push. I think now of Chuck pushing Subway or Walking Dead having contests where you can win a Hyundai Santa Fe if you watch the show live. So those are methods to draw viewers to watch the show live. I think of those shows using those gimmicks more recently and think that, yeah, Push may have just been ahead of its time. But the problem is the show itself seemed geared more towards an older traditional audience. Even the use of new media was strange because, again, the use of a fax machine to show, the main start of the angle of the show as opposed to a web address. The ideas may have been cutting edge, but the show's production and the show itself was not. However, the show did give one person the chance to find the loot and become a millionaire. The prize was won by Mark Nakamoto from New York or New Jersey, depending on where you look, who was probably the only one who came out ahead by watching this show. I watched it back in the day. I watched the first couple episodes and then gave up on it. I don't remember specifically why. I'm pretty sure I was watching CSI at the time, so I was probably VCRing it and watching it later and just didn't like it that much and gave up on it. Recently, I've gone back to it and watched on YouTube. I'll post a link below. All the episodes are available on YouTube. Most of them have original commercials built in, sometimes even screen capture so you can see the fast forwarding of the commercials. It can be quite hilarious, perhaps aggravating if you're a control freak, but they're fun to watch. But the resolution is pretty low on these shows, so if you're a high-def freak, I wouldn't bother checking these out. So that is the story of Push Nevada, one of shows that could have been a trailblazer, could have been a wasted opportunity, especially with the backing of heavyweights like Matt Damon and Will and Ben Affleck. But not every swing is a home run. Some swings are just misses. Thanks for watching.
Since we're just getting started, we'll help you find the hints in tonight's episode. So keep watching, because we'll highlight the hints so you can play along in the weeks to come. Don't forget, you need all the clues to solve the puzzle.
But you don't have to play the game to love the show. You just have to love a good mystery.
So keep your eyes open, because you could win big.
Do you mind if I give you some advice, Jim?
Go right ahead.
If you're going to stay here in Push Nevada, take your time. Take careful steps.
Why do you say that?
Because there's a secret, Jim. And like all the best secrets, it's not quickly told.